Hey everyone, Jesus here. I'd like to take a minute and talk to you about fake news. It's out there. We've all seen it. It can be a real downer. Trying to figure out what's real, what's fake, who's trying to fool you or take advantage of you. That's why I recommend Skeptalk Live, the only news source you can completely trust to be vaguely accurate and show you what's really happening in the world. It's like looking directly into the soul of humanity. So tune in on Twitch or YouTube to Skeptalk Live, the greatest talk show on earth. I'm Jesus fucking Christ. Don't argue with me. Just like the rest of religion, you are going to just have to take my word for it.
Boo-ba-doo bop-bop, hey-yo. Yeah.
And then my voice should be working now. And let's see if it's all working for everybody. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. This is what happens literally every time I have to even do anything on my machine. So, welcome everybody to Skeptalk Live, episode number 74, take number 2. Attempt at doing the intro take number 4. Because we fucked up the intro last time too. So yeah, because I had you guys turned off, right?
Yeah.
And it was just me talking, and I'm like talking to nobody, and it looked like I was, you know, a fucking weirdo. But for those of you who are joining us and wondering why we're running on a Wednesday, yesterday when we attempted to do episode number 74 for the first time, I had a massive computer malfunction with my CPU overheating to just catastrophic levels. So
almost like the Magic Smoko.
Yeah, I almost lost some hardware there. I tried turning it back on, and I'm all like, "Oh, that's the smell of silicone. Stop that now!" Right? So we canceled the show last night. I went out to Best Buy, bought a water cooler, brought it home, took my machine apart, tried to install it, learned that the case, even though it's got all of the fittings for a full-size double fan water cooler, oh, apparently my notifications are backwards for some reason. Hold on, let's find out what the hell is going on there.
That's cool.
Seriously, every time I do anything with my computer, it messes up everything in OBS. All right.
Don't touch anything.
Stream elements, transform, horizontal. If it's broken because of something else, this will break it. If it fixes itself, it'll be broken again, but we'll find out. All right. I'll go find out what that was, because that's actually, you know, I want to say hi to somebody if they need to be said hi to. So, but anyway, went and bought a water cooler, right? Tried to install it. It has all of the fittings for it to work, but the case also has a little flange right in the point of where it would make it so that no water cooler with double fans can ever be installed in this machine. It looks like Squid Punk. Thank you very much for that follow. I wanted to make sure I found out what was going on there. Welcome to the Illuminati, taking over the world one follow at a time. But so water cooler didn't work. Tried to do a case swap to another case that I had. That didn't work either, because that case for some reason mounts its motherboard in a stupid way so that nothing can fit in it. Swapped all the shit back, just swapping everything we could. And then this morning I just took that water cooler back and bought a smaller one. And everything worked perfectly. And so I've been playing Scum all day to attempt to to try and burn the cores, and I just can't get him to do anything, which is good. Willis Wonder says, how CPU draining is this stream? Quite. In fact, I can display my speed fan settings right now. It is sitting at 88% in all cores right now. I have 8 cores running, and it's 91, 95. Yeah, there it goes. It's going crazy. But yeah, it gets super taxing. But right now, it's sitting at a cool 45 degrees Celsius.
Takes a lot of CPU to contain this much awesome, right?
Correct. So let's get to introducing the panel. For those of you who weren't here for the first try, joining us today we have Rin. Rin, how are you doing?
I'm good. Other than a dentist appointment, I'm all good.
What did you dentist for?
I had a filling pop out the other day, and I had been to the dentist in a while, so it's just something that I've been needing to do, and I had like a really good reason to do it. So
that's the worst. Just popped out of your mouth, like.
Yeah. I was actually flossing too, so that's.
You hear that, boys and girls? Flossing pulls your teeth out.
Pulls your teeth out.
Yeah.
Don't let the dentist lies get you. They're all free.
All right, and also our other panelist for tonight is Seth. Seth, this is technically your second time on the internet, but I deleted the last stream, so as far as anyone knows, this is the first stream.
1.5.
Are you excited to be on the show?
Just as excited as last time we tried, which is incredibly excited.
Well, we're very excited to have you. I still have the 2 stories that we covered, but I added a bonus one because those ones are going to go fast. And I could not ignore the bonus one that I found because it involves terrible shit. It's one of those ones that's going to be all like, nature, why?
Goody.
Cyan Mew, welcome to the stream. All right, so let's get into today's show. Remember, this is a fair use talk show, and everything we're covering here is news about the world and everything that you can, live and do. And we're going to be commenting and making criticism and parody on news because we are not newscasters, but we're going to try real mediocrely. So
I actually have a degree in media communications, if that helps anything.
Holy shit, we're legit as hell. The next time you're on the show, I'm going to put actual journalist on your title. So now we'll have actual doctor and actual journalist as people that I bring on the show. And I'll flex nuts all over everything about that. I want to thank everybody who's hosting us: Pretty Random Network, Andrew Wilson, Orange Dragon, Gemini's Realm, Gamer Fuel Studios Live, Infinity Break Gaming, XC Blarg, Luke of the Woods, and Primo Trio. Thank you guys very much for those hosts. Those always are cool. That means that there's like 10 places on the internet right now with our faces on it. So if you want to help out the show, you can always donate, you can always subscribe, you can always follow. But if you don't want to do anything monetarily, feel free to click this tweet link in the chat here, and that will just share what you're doing right now on Twitter with everybody who is following you, and maybe they'll come join and watch our show. But with that said, here's that sweet ass song.
Sweet, I'm into it.
Yep, it feels like news, right? Cyan Mew says, I mean, if people consider Alex Jones a real news person, then I'm sure you guys are fine. I mean, that's, yeah, that's true.
Perfect.
As always, here are not as always, but as of recently, here are the headlines that didn't make it for today's show. Either the stories were bland and boring, or I found them misleading once I got into the actual article. The first one that didn't make it today is the original developers of GoldenEye 007 for N64 confirmed that Oddjob is cheating. And as I said last time, this ended up being a really long dissection of the history of GoldenEye and some really dry, boring pieces of information that some guy was way too excited to talk about. But the next story here, I'm expecting something to come through here. It says Witless Wonder is now hosting me. I should be getting a notification that says something here. Nope, I guess not. But Witless Wonder, thank you very much for the host. Cyan Muse says, we killed mayonnaise, how could we? Well, yeah, the story about how millennials killed mayonnaise, that article was a opinion piece, almost completely based in with no like real facts. It was another one of those it was kind of like millennials are, you know, doing something completely unexpected article that wasn't necessarily as true as it could have been. The third one was Florida man sprays Coast Guard with feces while they board his illegal party boat, and that one it was too literal. The story was very short. There was a Coast Guard like operation to attempt to take down an illegal party boat where a guy just kept having illegal parties, and when they tried to arrest him, he released the sewage tank on top of them. And yeah, I mean, but that's the end of the story, and they didn't give any data on what happened to the guy or anything like that. They just said that's how it went down. Cyan says another one of those let's blame millennials for everything articles my dad loves, right? Speaking of Miracle Whip, I can't remember what state it was. I think it might have been Florida, but there was a place called Mayo, Florida, and they're making a big deal about the fact that they're renaming their town for 2 weeks to Miracle Whip, Florida.
Oh, God.
Yes.
I didn't cover that story either, but this is the perfect place to talk about that.
I will only pronounce it Miracle Whip.
Miracle
Florida.
Whip.
Very important.
Miracle Whip it good. All right. So the first story that we've got today is definitely one we talked about last time we tried to do this episode. And that is Barnum Animal Crackers has got a new box art, and there's only one difference. Only they spent way too much money on it because all you needed to do was remove the bars from the animals.
Itty bitty little lines on the box.
I think it would have been a better idea and more fun to incorporate kids, like have them draw cute animals, because that's what I would have done, is slapped on kids drawings.
Oh hell yeah! Like a contest.
Yeah, and they pick like top 5, and then they would like have the cycling.
Free art right there, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But then, like, here's the thing I could see that's wrong with that, right? So, like, say nobody likes elephants, right? Like, no kids out there decide they like elephants, and only one kid does, and it's awful, right?
I mean, I'm sure they could put up, the rules, but that would suck. Holy. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Cyan Muse says, glad I got to watch you, or get to catch you, though. You interviewed my friend the Blue Rose a few weeks ago. The Blue Rose was a very fun interview. Chocolate animal crackers are the only animal crackers that exist to me. What? No. There's chocolate animal crackers?
Never even heard of those.
That sounds awesome.
I don't know, man. You start messing with a good thing, it gets weird. How many flavors of Oreos are out there now? It's getting ridiculous.
Some of those are straight gross too. Like straight nasty. I don't know. I do not understand the and Curry, I'm sorry if I offend you. I don't know if you're going to be one of these people, but the people who like birthday cake anything. Oh my god, it's so gross.
It's just pure sugar with vanilla. That's all birthday cake is.
But they're just so nasty. Like, it's like over sugar.
Yeah, I don't understand the birthday craze. Funfetti, maybe, but even then.
Then again, I am one of those weirdos who drinks his iced tea unsweetened, so.
Dude,
My husband does
good for
that.
you, man. Good for you. It's good for you.
It's like the world's most refreshing drink.
Frosted animal crackers. Good call, Cyan. Yeah.
No, the frosted ones
Those are also pretty
It has
awesome.
to be Mother's brands. I've had off brands and
Yeah, you can't do off brands with that stuff. It's like salsa and toilet paper. You don't skimp on those.
Woe be unto the man who goes for off-brand toilet paper. Or one-ply salsa.
Why?
Cyan Muse says, okay, real talk though, have you ever had cake batter ice cream? It's not birthday cake flavor. No, I literally only eat coffee ice cream.
Really? That's actually
Learning a lot about you today, Udo.
Yeah. Well, I'm not really last night I got into a weird mood and I went and I got the I got the what is that, ice cream Snickers, right? The Snickers ice cream bar or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like the first ice cream I've had in like 6 months. Other than the ice cream that Rin made with the bacon in it.
There you go.
It was delicious.
That was fantastic. For those of you who are in the chat and have not had bacon inside of ice cream, you should have bacon inside of ice cream. It's really good.
Stick with like vanilla or maybe chocolate, because chocolate covered bacon is also delicious.
Right. Squid Punk says frosted animal crackers are the only acceptable animal cracker.
That is your opinion.
I did not know that it was a polarizing issue. We'll have to.
Dude, yeah, animal crackers are a big deal, man. Big deal.
I always thought I was in trouble when I got animal crackers. Like, I mean, because there's like so much, like when animal crackers and me were a thing, you know, was super young. There were so many like more flashy types of food. Like you could get, dude, Cracker Jacks. They come with a toy.
Yeah, I remember when they came with like just a sticker or a little puzzle game or
Dude,
something.
yeah, you were like
They had
gypped.
toys.
Yeah,
Seriously.
but I mean, like when I was a kid, they came with fucking toys, dude. Like you would get like a glider or something like that you could build inside of it. Yeah, and it would like work with rubber bands and a propeller and stuff.
Huh.
Yeah, super cool stuff. Now you get like, you don't even get a sticker. They're literally just pieces of paper, right? They're like, it's like a sticker that doesn't stick to shit.
It's like a worthless stamp that you just collect. I'm like, really?
Right. Or you could get like you used to get like collector's edition baseball cards that are now worth hundreds of dollars because you had to get them out of a bullshit Cracker Jack box.
Right.
And then apparently they were even cooler the generation before. Decoder rings are not just a thing that the cartoons say. Decoder rings were a fucking thing.
I must have been just past that because like all the cartoons talked about them. And I was like, what are these things? Like I have no idea what's happening. I'm like 8 years old. I'm like, where do I get one? All the cartoons
You gotta put in enough tabs for your oh goodness, what was it from Christmas Story?
Right.
Ovaltine.
Right.
You gotta put in all for your Ovaltine.
All right, exactly. No, but the deal is that the cartoons that we watched as kids were all written by people who ate Cracker Jacks a generation earlier. So, like, they thought that Cracker Jacks still gave out shit like that, when in my time they had moved to, 1 cent foam gliders. Painstakingly created by Chinese internment camps. Okay, and this is the other story that we covered yesterday, but we didn't. This is where the gotcha got us, right? This is where we died, right? We got
hackety-hacked by a 16-year-old.
Exactly. At this point, we have now been streaming longer than we got to stream last time, so we're looking good, right? A teenage boy from Australia pled guilty to hacking Apple's network and downloading internal files. The 16-year-old had accessed 90 gigabytes worth of files, breaking into things that included customer data, although nothing like social security numbers or anything like that, right? Cyan Mew has asked if they can have your cupcake.
No, my girlfriend literally just came in and put this on my desk. It's a Twix cupcake. Twix is my favorite candy bar, and she made them just for me.
Oh, yeah, pizza.
Awesome.
So no, you can't have it.
But the best part about this story was that the 16-year-old was storing the leaked documents that they had obtained in a folder called Hacky Hack Hack. And some investigator with, a very important division of the Australian government had to go through this kid's hard drive and open up the Hacky Hack Hack folder to find out what this kid had managed to get away with, and find 90 gigabytes of customer data from Apple.
What if he was a serial killer and that's like Hacky Hack and it's just a bunch of pictures of...
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I suppose it could have been
That was
worse.
a really weird hypothetical there.
Either way, they caught the killer.
Completely unrelated.
Just keep hacking and hacking and hacking and hacking. All right. So now that we've gotten past this story, everything we're going to cover from this point forward is all news to everybody but me. New news. And this next one is a doozy. So I'm showing you a picture of a dolphin here. Mm-hmm. And it says, gonna get ya. Mm-hmm. Who do you think is getting whom? Are we getting the dolphin, or is the dolphin gonna get us?
Well, now that you're asking that, my money's on something chasing the dolphin.
He's coming to rape us, if that's what you mean, because that's what dolphins do.
Right. So a seaside village in Brittany has banned swimming on its beach because a dolphin in heat has been scaring all of the tourists and locals by aggressively rubbing against them. This dolphin is
Seriously?
even... Go ahead.
Dolphins being sexually aggressive is seriously like a once-a-week conversation topic for some reason.
Right.
Is that just me, or is that like a common thing these days?
No, I think it's part of the general groupthink, right? But this one is, an actual case of it occurring.
Right.
The dolphin has prevented people from getting back onto the beach in Landivek, using its nose to push one woman out of the water and up into the air.
Oh my God.
The beast is clearly in a state of sexual arousal, and you know what that means. And it also has been trying to rub up against kayaks and other boats. So this article is using clever, usages of words to attempt to say that the horny dolphin is doingling boats.
I'm gonna use that one in bed now. Doingling.
After
dolphin ready for some doingling.
Exactly. The next time I see your husband, I'll expect the slap across the hand. So the 3-meter-long dolphin, which has a nickname of Zafar, has been hanging around the Bay of Brest for months, amusing tourists with its antics, as it visited the beach lines of the shorelines of these words that I'm going to slaughter. Plogastel Dalagos and Logana Dalalas and Landiveninek.
Where?
Okay.
Exactly. Where is this? Is this Narnia? What the fuck
What
is with
country
these
is
names?
this again? Where are we talking about? Denmark?
Well, the name of the village is Brittany. Brittany. Whoops. The name of those things I was trying to say there was Plougastl -DAOULAS. That's like 4 vowels in a row. And then Landevenec. Landinevik.
All right. Well, glad we got through that together.
Exactly. So, Witless Wonders asks if it's in Wales. It could very well be in Wales. So the dolphin is in Wales. Cyan Mew says headlines: titillated dolphin terrorizes town. It's pretty good.
I like that one.
You looking for a job, Cyan? So, apparently this dolphin had been even allowing people to grab onto its dorsal fin and go on rides with it until recently, when all of a sudden it goes into heat and all of these tourists that are all like, I'm gonna go swim with the dolphin today. Oh dear.
Nope.
Exactly. So now swimming, diving, swimming and diving are banned on the village shoreline, and whenever the presence of the dolphin is confirmed, and it was a new
That was gonna be
bylaw.
lonely and sad.
Right. Exactly.
Nobody there.
So this is actually not just a policy, but it is a bylaw issued by the mayor of Landonevik, Roger Lars. So there's now a law that when the dolphin gets randy, nobody gets to swim.
Yes. Thank you, bureaucracy.
Damn it, nature. And then they ended up by they ended the article by saying stuff like local media have been awash with tales of the dolphin's less savory antics.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Jeez Louise.
But anyway, let's move on to one of our title stories for the day.
Cool.
Spider tacos.
Woohoo!
Bye!
Look at that adorable
those
thing.
Are spiders, though. Those are that's like an octopus.
I know.
Sorry if I just ruined everything, but
no. This is just the super Twitch friendly. People will actually still click on our stream image of about what this story is actually about. So,
oh no.
Apparently, Mexican authorities have recently put a restaurant that has been serving arachnids on its menu on hold because they were serving protected species of Mexican red rump tarantulas in their tacos. So, one, this story releases a lot of information here. There are people serving spider tacos. The authorities aren't bothered by it unless it's a protected spider. And 2 and 3, there are protected spiders. All new pieces of information to me. What was that, Rin?
We do have protected insects, so it would make sense, but still, it's gross.
I'm gonna raise your volume just a little bit. There we go. There we go. Excellent. Make sure that you don't get talked over too much.
I can see that.
All right. So let me pull everything back up again. There we go. Cyan Mew says, I heard they are quite tasty. I would eat them. Or would I eat them? Hell no. Yeah.
Supposedly it tastes like shellfish or like crab, because they're all the same family.
Yeah, it'd be like crab tempura. Like a spider roll, like thing with the
a literal spider roll.
Legs coming out, yeah. But it's not actually a spider.
But if you are interested in going and trying these tacos, they do have other non-red rump tarantula versions. The ones that they were getting in trouble for were being sold for 500 pesos, which is 50 times the price of a basic street taco. And the restaurant's menu features other creepy crawlies such as grasshoppers, worms, ant eggs, and they have a long tradition with Mexican cuisine. And then they also sell scorpions, which apparently are less common. Squid Punk says, so spiders are a transportation device for butter? Exactly. So, I totally agree with Squid Punk. I can't really taste lobster or crab very much. Like, when I'm eating it, it's just butter.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I wish I could eat it or it tastes better, right?
Lobster, I don't know. I think lobster's overrated. Crab's good though.
But except for
personally,
there's one type of lobster that totally kicks ass. I think it was rock lobster was the one that I had. It's like straight up tastes completely different, and I can taste the hell out of it. Right? Mama Jewel Rose, welcome to the show. So where is this at? So if I ever visit Mexico, I can make sure not to go to this restaurant. Let me see if it said Mexico City, in the Market Restaurant district. So it is in straight Mexico City.
If you see spider on the menu, just walk out.
Exactly.
It's your first red flag.
The first thing is just don't buy any 500 peso tacos because they're likely made of spider, right? That'll be your first flag. All right, so here comes our first fireside chat for the night. Exactly. If the world was ending, what song would you want it to go out to, Rin?
So my favorite song recently and band have been I Fight Dragons, and they have a song called Smile and Pretend. And it's essentially saying that these things are changing one by one and no one really noticed until it started burning, but I'll just smile and pretend like I've noticed the whole time. Or not. I mean, it just depends on how you listen to it. It's a really good song, and I really like the group. They're very nerd rock. Like, someone compared them to All American Rejects, but it has a bunch of, like, nerd and gamer sounds and music and references in it. They're really cool.
Kind of Weezery?
No.
In its content?
No.
Okay.
I mean, not that I can think of. I've never
You know what we're talking about,
Weezer person.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I guess it went whoosh, whatever you
No. Weezer's hella nerdy, so it's just basically like they've got songs talking about waiting in the garage to play Dungeons and Dragons.
You know, Weezer was just never a group that I just never really liked their music.
Well, fine then. I'm just joking. I mean, I am the worst at music. Like, I hate almost everything that people like. Seth, how about you?
Well, this depends for me, because music very much sets moods for me, so it really depends on how the world is ending. In the event of zombie apocalypse, I'm definitely going to go with Jukebox Hero, because that would be a sweet song to walk out the door to with a baseball bat and just start knocking heads. Like, that would be an amazing walkout song for the beginning of the end of the if it were like natural disaster, nuke, like we're all just about to get wiped off the map, then gonna have to go with It's the End of the World. You know,
Gotcha.
The classic. I feel like that would just be an ironic way to die.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, anybody who doesn't have that in their apocalypse movie, whatever, is really missing out on it. Cyan Mew says Bohemian Rhapsody, baby. Mama Jewel Rose mentions that the good thing that my mother-in-law is Hispanic to catch out with those spider tacos. Let's see. Mama Jewel Rose also says Cotton. Oh, you're reading more. they're going through the song. Gotcha. Okay. Down, yeah. I'm like, I don't get what they're talking about, but then I did all of a sudden.
Like any good Bohemian Rhapsody mention, everyone has to start singing the lines.
Exactly. Weightless Wonder says the sound of silence while drinking Everclear and staying alive. I would personally, I would want Stitches, Molly Cyrus, so everyone would be just confused. Just terribly confused. I was discussing that song with some people. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that song.
I think so.
It's pretty ridiculous. He's one of the worst rappers alive, in my opinion. But the song has like 24 million views on YouTube. Wow. And it's about putting cocaine in somebody's rear end so that he may penetrate them easily.
Interesting.
And that person is Miley Cyrus.
Obviously.
Right? And that's the entire song. Like, he doesn't add any layers to it. That's what it's about, and he just talks about that throughout the entire fucking song.
Wow.
And so now he has 24 million views on fucking YouTube. God damn.
Yeah, I'm listening to it now. He's like, it's just like yelling about Molly first off,
right?
Which is not a hard drug, and then yeah, cocaine in the Yeah,
Yep.
that's
Yep.
yeah. Wow, there's nothing
Yeah.
else to it.
Those,
it's less than
those
3 minutes. That makes a lot of sense.
exactly. Those lyrics do not get more complex. Cyan Muse says, "I don't want to set the world on fire." I fucking love that song. All right.
Lovely baritone.
Either that or we're going to get, struck on YouTube for daring to sing a song. We'll find out. Or 24 million views. I could talk about cocaine butts. So, I mean, now, when I originally thought about this video or this part of the show, this specific article we're going to be covering here, I wanted to make sure that I got the timestamp so I could point it out to Ramo and Jason so they can argue about it. But a few years ago, a team of archaeologists cleaning sand from an ancient Egyptian tomb discovered a group of broken jars, and one of the jars contained a mysterious white substance. Just recently, the Journal of Analytical Chemistry finally offered an answer that it was 3,200-year-old cheese.
Holy shit.
Nice.
Which makes it the world's oldest piece of cheese.
That's gonna be sharp as.
Right, exactly. That is aged.
God.
The archaeologists had always suspected it was food, according to the conservation method and the position of the finding inside the tomb, but they discovered that it was cheese after the first tests, which I guess took them years to get around to.
Wow.
The tomb in which the cheese was found belonged to Ptolemys, a high-ranking Egyptian official in the 13th century BC, and the former mayor of the ancient city of Memphis, according to the paper.
Ancient city of Memphis?
Exactly. I mean, is that happenstance that there is a podunk in Tennessee named Memphis? It may be a really big town, but it's still podunk because it's in Tennessee.
There you go.
Right. Mama Jewel Rose says, "Now what would you have with that cheese that old?" Well,
Now
of
it
course,
depends on what type of cheese.
you would have a tall glass of that red liquid that was in the 2,000-year-old soldier's tomb.
God.
Gross. Gross.
Did you guys see that episode that where I showed off that?
Yeah.
It's just so nasty. And then people are all like, "Let someone drink it, god damn it." I guess
Out of you.
For science.
there was actually somebody who got arrested for attempting to get to the site to take some of the liquid.
Wow.
So that he could get karma on Reddit or something. I don't know. Willis Wonder says, "My king, what do you wish for us to bury with you?" "Just bury me in cheese. It's the only paradise I need."
Oh, God.
Sounds right.
Disgusting.
So the
Please don't get me wrong, but
right. So the ancient cheese, which was sometimes included in the feasts buried alongside wealthy Egyptians, was probably similar to chèvre. Or fuck, I'm gonna mess this one up really good. Chèvre, is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
That little thing over the E or whatever.
It doesn't. It just says CHEVRE.
Yeah, chèvre.
Right, so-
Chèvre. How fancy you want
But
to
it
sound.
probably had a really, really acidy bite, according to Paul Kinstead. Nobody's eating it.
nobody's eating it. It's just probably, they're like, it probably tastes like this and nobody's eating it.
Well,
That's
there's
amazing.
cheese that have maggots that help it be its cheese, and people eat that shit. But I don't know
Right.
The fuck?
how.
It's a real
Exactly.
thing.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
even
real.
like
It's an
cheese, but
illegal cheese.
I need to get in touch with these people because I don't even like cheese. I'm like a cheese connoisseur. I'll eat cheese on like burgers and stuff, but I'll eat a piece of this so I can tell you what the fuck it tastes like. Because
But
this
it
is
was
stuff
some
we need to
cilantro,
know.
though.
Exactly. It tastes like soap. The whole thing tastes like soap. Cyan Muse says how that dude flirted, so I'm going to age this giant ass cheese wheel for funsies. Want to look at it? Cyan Mew says, "Give it to me. I'll eat it and turn it."
Bar.
Right. Cyan Mew is also on the train to go try this cheese. Squid Punk says, the one in Tennessee is named after the one in Egypt. Right. Gotcha.
Cool.
All right. So our next story is about a grown man dressed as Tinkerbell.
You just open with it.
Exactly.
No one was clapping.
A disruptive man dressed as Peter Pan's fairy sidekick, Tinkerbell, was escorted off of a Ryanair flight Friday morning. The man was dressed as Tinkerbell and boarded the Poland-bound flight at London's Stansted Airport with a friend dressed as Bob the Builder. Once the men were on the plane, Ryanair says that they became unruly and disruptive, a spokesperson told the news.
I mean, that's Tinkerbell.
I mean, makes sense. Essex police were called to the scene, and an armed officer led the man dressed as Tinkerbell off the plane. One of the officers adjusted the man's wings while leading him off of the plane, the BBC reported.
Jeez Louise.
Ryanair's spokesperson told the news that 2 passengers were removed, though police did not confirm if the man dressed as Bob the Builder was taken off of the flight.
Why would Bob the Builder? It's women's rights. They've taken the women off the plane and let the man alone.
Obviously, this is definitely a sexism issue.
Squidpunk says, "You don't get dressed up to fly," and Witless Wonder says, "Typical Tuesday. Go on." The flight left after a short delay, and the 2 passengers who were removed were able to book flights later that day, which they don't say, but I need to know if they were still dressed as Tinkerbell and Bob the Builder.
Definitely.
This is exactly why we are calling for significant changes to prohibit the sale of alcohol at airports, such as a 2-drink limit per passenger and no alcohol sales before 10 a.m.
Dude, that ruins all the fun of flying then.
Exactly. Cyan Mew says, "Damn it, Tinkerbell, I thought Peter Pan told you to stay out of trouble after rehab."
This is definitely I've got a few people that I know would be interested in starting a group to support Fae rights. I think this is really going to be the push they needed to get that going.
Excellent. The pixelated face here, you could tell that this guy is also bald, right? So that's like, I don't know. It seems like, and his hair, chest hair, is absolutely just carpety.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that till you pointed it out. That's something.
Mama Drew Rose says Bob just wanted to be on board to assist and fix the plane should it need repairs. Can we fix it? No, it's fucked.
We're diving out of the sky. There's no way.
All right, moving on to the next story. You guys appreciators of art?
Yes. Yeah, I guess. Let's go with yes.
You're gonna say you would appreciate a good art?
Yeah, a good. Only the best art.
even if the arts were the wrong person. Dun dun dun. Well, a statue in Russia's so-called northern capital is at the center of attention 7 years after it was unveiled, because it turns out one of the people in the statue is the wrong person.
What?
So the monument is dedicated to Jean-Francois Thomas de Thomon, who was designed as a number of St. Petersburg's neoclassical buildings, and currently sits alongside the statues of 6 other architects responsible for erecting a European royal city in Russia's northern marshes. The only problem is that the figure in de Thomon's place is not the French builder at all, but is in fact the late Scottish chemist. Local newspaper is a late Scottish chemist. I don't have his name here till farther down in here. Right. So here's the quote from the newspaper. I was the project's main artist, and I am responsible for everything. Alexander Tartinov, the project's chief sculptor, told the newspaper. The artist admitted that he had used an engraving purported to be de Timon on Wikipedia, which other sites, including the St. Petersburg tourism site, corroborated. The image actually depicted a Scottish scientist with a similar name, Thomas Thompson.
Get him confused all the time.
Exactly. Wikipedia ruins everything. This is why you're not allowed to use it in college.
But you're saying other credible sources like corroborated it? Like,
yep.
That's terrible.
Well, basically what happened is he's like, hey, is this Wikipedia link the right thing? And then the guy opened it up and said, yep, looks right to me. And then Cyan says, do not trust everything on Wiki. Oh my god, please no. Right? Unlike Timon, Thompson had no ties to Russia or St. Petersburg. And he grew up in Crieff in Scotland before studying in St. Andrews and Edinburgh. He then moved to teach university at Glasgow, according to the institution's biography of its former professor. The official portrait, seemingly based on the engraving, is displayed by the National Galleries of Scotland. Tatranov admitted to not referring to any historians, and that they were confident that the internet would give us the correct information.
Beautiful.
Right?
Yes.
All the tourist sites have the Maldrot photograph of Thompson under the name Thomas de Timon. So apparently, under a bunch of other websites that are supposed to corroborate the information, they also have the wrong guy.
Well, it's because someone messed with the Wikipedia. So they all changed their info to match the Wikipedia.
What was that?
What a world we live in.
Exactly. De Timon was only 13 years older than Thompson, albeit the Scot outlived his near namesake by almost 40 years. Russia's Museum of Architecture claimed responsibility for first spotting the discrepancy in a tweet after one of its employees wrote a blog post about the erroneously attributed engraving earlier this month. So some random employee was just all like, hey, I know what Timon looks like. That's Thompson, not Timon. Right? Like
Skip, that entire chain reaction is just mind-boggling. Like, it starts with get your info from Wikipedia. Some other dude says, yeah, sure, that works. Makes the statue. Realizes they've messed up.
7 years later, because someone who did know what they were talking about tweeted, and that's how his boss found out, and that's when it came apart. Like, Rin, if you were in charge of Russian statues, what would the punishment of the man who did this be?
Are you sounding like a robot? Are you not part of the Russian?
There was a second of robot.
Okay.
Oh,
hold on. Is it back yet?
Yeah, it's there. You're still robot-y.
Oh, I should be able to fix that with
underwater robot.
All right. How about that? Sound better?
That's okay. There we are. What was the question again?
If you were in charge of Russian Russian statues, what would the punishment for the person who made the wrong statue be?
I'm always one for crediting one's work, at least if you're taking credit for someone else's work, and the fact that he used his face and even credit until later, it's like, oh yeah, blame. I have no patience.
So would you just put
them?
Okay. that went way faster than I thought. I thought you were talking about like leaving the statue there and like putting the real statue next to him and being all like, also Thomas Thompson because reasons. But
you could just have him standing there like with that grumpy like who's this man in my spot?
Right. Well, if you like Scottish so much, why don't you go to Scotland? They just deport him to Scotland and not even tell Scotland.
Oh no.
Cyan Mew says, I mean, we're talking about the site where it was said that Charlie Sheen was put down as being half man and half cocaine. 10 out of 10 would trust.
No, that's definitely true. I read that in the tablet.
Willis Wonder says this will be the trigger for World War III.
The Scots are like, oh, no, they didn't.
Exactly. Thomas Thompson is our hero. All right. So, Seth, if you got to create a new flavor of Mountain Dew, what flavor would it be? And chat, feel free to ring in.
That's tough, man, because
Right?
because the Game Fuel was like, to me, the ultimate Mountain Dew, and so to think of a flavor beyond that,
Right?
like, which to be fair was just mixing Code Red and Livewire, so I guess, man, you know what would be cool, since we were talking about it? A bacon flavored Mountain Dew. A Mountain Dew you don't feel bad about drinking in the morning.
But it has to taste like bacon.
Bacon
not that fake
Dew.
Bacon flavor.
Fuck.
I think that would be, as long as it didn't blow it, as long as it wasn't like most bacon vodkas, I think it could work out.
So, kind of like a Jones soda.
There you go. Yeah.
Right? So, I actually drank one of each of the holiday ones back in 2004. The turkey gravy one was pretty good.
Weird.
The Brussels sprouts one was gross as hell. The mashed potato ones tasted like watery potatoes. So, I mean, like, they had the potato flavor down, but it was just watery. And then the last one was cranberry sauce, and that was delicious. They should have continued making cranberry sauce.
It's just cranberry.
Hey, We Rent Goats is back.
Excellent.
Might as well make a coffee dew as well.
Rin, what do you think?
I don't like Mountain Dew to begin with.
Aw.
Okay. Well, then,
So...
why don't you just, like, old tire, right? Like,
yeah, it's like and Famunda.
exactly. All right, so Witless Wonder says screwdriver flavored. Cyan Mew says mango pineapple. Squid Punk says country gravy. Witless Wonder says bacon dew. It's just caffeinated bacon grease. We Rent Goat says might as well make a coffee dew. And the Druid says Coke has a coffee flavored now. Oh,
What?
Jimmy flavored.
For real?
Huh. So this is gonna sound really weird, but a long time ago, I was at a it was like a moderately cheap Asian food restaurant, right?
Okay.
But they also served like hamburgers and stuff, and they called themselves East Meets West. And
What?
Right. Yep. So they had a thing on the menu, and I was concerned about it, so I had to order it and try it. And it was called Chocolate Pepsi. And it was literally Pepsi with Hershey syrup in it.
Oh, gross.
It was super good.
No way.
It's totally super good. I guarantee you, it sounds really gross, right?
Is that like when people
Yeah.
put Coke and peanuts in their Coke and then they just drink the Coke and
Peanuts in your Coke?
Yeah.
What?
they
Yeah,
pour Coke in
I
the
saw a
Coke.
video about that. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, they pour like a straight bag of salted peanuts into a bottle of Coke, like a liter Coke or whatever, and then that's just how they'll sit and drink and eat their peanuts and Coke.
Yeah, no, I've never seen that. I'm gonna have to research that.
Yeah, it's a thing in like the South.
Yeah, it's very southern.
All right, the Druid says East Meets West sounds like a Kardashian sex tape.
Jesus. That took
Apparently,
me way too long to get. Oh,
right.
no.
The Druid says that Southerners do that with the peanuts. We Rent Goat says it's a southern thing, peanuts in the Coke. Gotcha. Yeah, it doesn't. I don't get it, but shit. Now I'm gonna have to go get peanuts and Coke.
You've already done Hershey syrup and Coke. You should
Right.
just make yourself an expert on mixing anything with Coke or Pepsi. Like that should just be your new like connoisseur thing. People pay you to fly out and test their concoction they made of Coke mixed with other things.
But people are stupid. They're gonna put like clam juice in it and say it's good.
Oh god.
They already put clam juice with tomato juice and with vodka and make that a drink. That's already gross enough.
Yeah.
Right. That's abhorrent. Right.
I've had that. It's not good. I
It's
don't
not good.
understand it.
My family on my mother's side put tomato juice and salt in like shitty beer.
What?
And they all think it's the best, and it's just absolutely nasty.
That sounds like heartburn to me.
Yeah.
That just sounds like heartburn.
I mean, if they like it, they like it. But then again, my grandmother would put vinegar on stuff that vinegar doesn't need to fucking go on.
I think we need to change topics.
Is your
I'm
grandma
Right, okay.
Muriel?
feeling so hot anymore.
Right, exactly. All right. Our next story is about a very lucky person and a very unlucky person. So, a man, last Friday or I guess this would have been 3 Fridays ago. 3 Friday afternoon. 3 Fridays ago, a 28-year-old resident of the coastal town of Hokota Ibakari was at home when the doorbell rang. When he went to see who it was, he saw an elderly woman he had never met before standing on his doorstep. And the woman asked, "Are you her son?" The woman appeared to be in her 60s or 70s. And then she said, "Your mom said she'd be home around 5 o'clock, so when she gets back, please give her these." And then she handed the man 2 envelopes before walking back to her Toyota, hopping in and driving away. As mysterious as the exchange was, the man does indeed live with his mother, who was out at the time. Moreover, many Japanese homes aren't spacious enough to comfortably entertain guests, and Japanese people often keep to their social circles, acquaintances, separate from their families when going out. So it's entirely possible to have one of your parents have friends you've never met. However, when the man's mother came home, he described the woman, and she had no idea who this person was. Hoping for some sort of clue as to the woman's identity, they opened the envelope, which contained 40,000 yen, which is US $360, right?
Yeah, roughly, yeah.
Right. That is it's a pricey sum to receive from a complete stranger, but not nearly as pricey as what they found in the second envelope, which was a cold 1,000,000 yen, which is $9,000 in US.
Yeah.
Right. The elderly woman doesn't fit the description of any of the son or mother's friends or relatives, leaving them baffled by the seemingly random display of largesse. At first, it almost seems as if the elderly woman may have been being targeted in an or scam, which is a common ploy where con men contract senior citizens on the phone while claiming to be a child or grandchild who needs a sudden influx of cash, which they then asked to be handed over to a co-worker who's actually an accomplice, and had gotten confused about where she had been instructed to take the money. However, the elderly woman's choice of words show that she was acting under the belief that she was at the home of the woman she intended to be the final recipient of the money. So, they don't have any information about what's happening with this, but as of the point of when this was published, they had not found this woman, and there's still 1,000,000 yen sitting in an envelope at this guy's house.
Dang.
But like, just imagine, like an old lady showed up at your door, and the whole deal is there's a culture thing too. Like, he probably didn't ask questions or like anything at all. He just like said, "Okay, my elder, I'll do exactly what you say to do." Right?
That's pretty much what they would have done, yeah.
Right.
That's nuts. Oh my god.
And yeah, so he never even got a chance to clarify anything or get a name or anything. he just collected the bill, and now he's just like, what's happening? There's 1 million yen.
What does do? What do?
Damn, dude.
Right. All right. That's a fun story.
I just don't even know what to say to that.
Well, that's now a thing you know. That's the.
I wish it would happen to me. I guess.
Right.
Where's my $9,000 anonymously dropped at my door?
Cyan Mew says, "Can that old lady come to my door, please?" Right. I could enjoy $9,000.
It'd be like one of the. It's the new meme, like pass the granny with the money and good luck. You know,
right.
Good luck will come to you.
So, this is another art gone wrong story here.
Oh, I've heard this one.
Oh, did you hear this one? About the bottomless hole? Okay.
Here it is. Udo's sultry voice.
On August 13th, an Italian man was perusing the British artist Anish Kapoor's art in a Portuguese art museum when he accidentally fell into a black hole. While it didn't fling him into the nether reaches of space, it was actually just a pit painted black, also known as Kapoor's 1992 work Descent into Limbo. But it did land him in the hospital. So, this art piece is a 20-foot deep pit painted black as to represent a bottomless pit.
And that paint's ridiculous too. It gives off no reflection whatsoever.
Oh, it's that stuff that make foil have like no refraction.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Dude. So is this picture a fairly accurate representation? There's like no like rope around it or nothing, no sign.
Yeah. No, there's a sign that says do not. There's a sign that says that you fall in the hole. But yeah, that is
right. It has posted signs and a security guard present, but somehow this guy was able to fall in.
Darwinism at its best.
At its best.
That's why I titled this one "Just Leave Them There." I mean,
it's part of the art. The bones that collect at the bottom.
Right.
It's part of the installation.
You walk into a place with an art exhibit called the Bottomless Pit, or Pit into Nothingness. Don't walk over it.
Also, I one of those are like, okay, I want to see if I can walk, so I would have done a hand touch or a toe touch first before I just be like, oh no, there really is a hole here.
Exactly. But I mean, how many people? Wait, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, you could do like a 5-foot pit and get the point across, right? Like it would look the same. You'd stick your hand or your foot in and be like, oh yeah, it's actually a hole. Like you wouldn't actually be able to touch the bottom unless you jumped in.
Right.
Exactly. Now, but I mean, also, how much? I'm like mad that I'm sure that this exhibit is insured for millions. Right? Like it's a fucking hole in the ground, painted black. I could go do that.
Next, there just needs to be a red door painted black on the wall too.
Exactly. Nice. All right. Cyan Mew says, or did he do it on purpose and was like, I got student loans to pay.
Beautiful.
True.
I've been waiting for this story since I found it yesterday morning. I wanted to make this one of our title stories, but I'm
excited.
I can't figure out an appropriate title for Twitch to be able to put this up, right?
Okay.
So a Chinese couple was struggling to conceive a baby, and they made an eye-opening discovery when the doctor told them that they've been having sex the wrong way.
What the fuck?
What? During the inspection, when they were trying to figure out their fertility issues, the medic found that the wife was still a virgin, despite them being 4 years in the bedroom. So the couple were very young, the man 26 and the woman 24, but they were very healthy. Despite being married for over 4 years, they hadn't been able to conceive yet. The obstetrician Louis Hong Mei told the local paper. The family was giving them a lot of stress because of it, because of the way the culture works over there, right?
I know that feeling. Holy crap.
Right. The woman told her doctor that sex was usually quite painful, which raised concerns about a right?
Oh no.
Which raised concerns about a gynecological disease. But upon examination, it was discovered that she was still a virgin. Hung Mei credited her experience as a doctor for thinking to check the woman's anus, confirming that the couple had mistakenly been knocking at the wrong door for 4 years.
Oh my god.
The couple, who hail from Baiji City in China's southwest, were each handed a sex education handbook and some guidelines before they went home.
I thought countries were better at sex ed than we were. What's going on?
They're both gonna get back and be like, oh, they're like, this is way better.
Months later, the couple reportedly presented the doctor with a few chickens and 100 eggs as a thank you gift. And the woman finally got pregnant after apparently more successful attempt at sexual intercourse.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
And they like old school, like medieval thanked the doctor with chickens and eggs.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
That's depressing.
Maybe that's like a fertility tradition there. Like, I don't know.
Oh,
Right.
I forgot fertility.
Hey. Damn. It took them 4 years to like
to continue
get to-
failing. Like they
get
weren't
to
done.
that point.
Right. They weren't done failing yet. They had to have someone tell them that they were wrong.
How did he not have something? How did he not get something? 4 years of exclusively knocking at that door without protection because they're trying to get pregnant, and there was no other issue? That blows my mind.
It's possible that one of them was in the know and just refused to say anything.
Oh my god.
Cyan Musa's worst case of wrong hole ever. Right? That's exactly what I was saying. But I figured that this picture was the most appropriate Twitch picture that I could find.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It definitely piques my interest.
All right, our next fireside chat here. So celebrity boxing. Now that you guys have been on the internet, you have to pick somebody now. What popular internet star would you want to box? And we're gonna start with Rin. This is a pop culture reference. If you don't get it, congratulations.
I remember that from back in the day.
Well, there's the new ones.
There's a new one?
No, there's all the new stuff where all the like popular YouTubers are boxing each other.
Oh
yeah, I think about this.
Yeah, the most recent one was KSI and Logan Paul. And then
oh my god,
Comedy Shorts Gamer and Jake Paul. And then also Scarce and a guy named Rucka. But yeah, so they're all doing boxing and stuff and making millions. So now there's a bunch of other like YouTubers running around, or Twitch stars or whatever, yelling about boxing each other. So now that you guys have been on the internet, you have to pick one person that you would box.
Perfect.
All right, what do you think?
I don't know if you know this guy, but his channel is The Odd Ones Out.
Oh, The Odd Ones Out. You want to you want to box a cartoonist?
Yeah, we would just be really bad at it. It'd be a fair fight, honestly.
Fantastic. All right, Seth, who are you gonna box?
Well, this is tough for me because once again, there's two ways you could take this. Either I could pick someone that I really respect and have like a good go at it, good sportsmanlike match, or I pick an internet star I just friggin' hate and just beat the ever living crud out of them.
Right.
and I'm not really sure which one to go with. So I guess I'll just go with the first internet star that pops into my head, which is difficult at the moment. Give me some examples. Throw some examples out of me of popular internet celebrities.
I was originally
chat,
going to say Poppy.
please get in there.
Right. We got chat. We'll see what chat says. I'm gonna say for myself, PewDiePie, because the most eyes will see me, and I don't care. Like, his recent content's been pretty fucking funny. I have to say that.
Dude,
as
that
an
guy's
adult,
hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, as an adult watching his content, which I didn't. I started watching his content like a month ago, and I'm like, holy shit, this is funny. And then I went back in time to look at his other stuff, and I'm like, holy shit, this is garbage, right? The new stuff he's putting out is funny. But anyway, Cyan Muse says, I don't know because I don't want to fight anybody. PewDiePie is hilarious. I didn't like him too much before. Right, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, his new stuff's pretty fucking funny. But I mean, there's Keemstar, Pyrocynical, Philip DeFranco. I'm just naming off people that people might actually know off of this my subscribed list.
Also Markiplier, he's pretty fun.
Oh yeah, Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, Matt Pat, fuck yeah. You can fight a game theorist.
Who's the YouTuber that my brother loves? This guy that basically just takes other people's viral YouTube videos and just shits on them.
Oh, the content cop. Shit. Well, I mean, Pyrocynical does that, but what is his name? Fuck.
YouTube.
No, I know who you're talking about specifically. Oh, Cyan Mew would fight Nicole Arbor. Yeah, seriously, fuck that bitch. She sucks so fucking much. But fuck, what is his name? He's the content cop.
Oh well, that guy.
Right.
Because it would just be funny. It would just be hilarious. He'd probably make it the funniest thing ever to watch.
Right. Or
So
yeah, Cinema Sins. All right, excellent. All right, we've covered that now. We're all pop cultured up. So when those guys see this video, which they have to now, so everybody who's in the chat, just chat like at all those people.
There you go.
All right. This one is titled "Bang Bus Parking Only," and looking at the time we've got going on, this story is not as interesting as it sounds. Sweden has literally garages where you can go have sex with prostitutes.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I'm actually gonna skip this one, but that's the whole deal, right? The government has set up these boxes where you go drive in with prostitutes, and there's like security guards. So
wow.
Yeah. Huh. I mean, apparently they've been doing it for 5 years, and it's a fantastic success. So,
all right.
But our next story, because I want to make sure I get to the super duper funny ones. So, thieves in Paraguay have stolen 42 powerful rifles from the police armory. An inspection of the police's, I guess you have to say like weapons storage or whatever, found
armory.
That the FNFA, yeah, there you go, the FNFAL battle rifles that they had been getting storing for use of whatever attack from Godzilla or whatever they need to fight, right? Have been replaced with wooden and plastic replicas.
Oh, Nerf guns.
Right, exactly. So the thieves in Paraguay broke in and replaced them with basically like stock airsoft rifles, right? Like, the inspection was ordered after the rifles started appearing a year ago on the black market, where they fetch about $10,000. The rifles had been put into storage, but were still in working order. Some of them were thought to have ended up in Argentina, while others were believed to have been smuggled all the way to Brazil. And they believe that it may have been so long ago that these were stolen that there is absolutely no way to track this down.
That's amazing.
Right? the Paraguayan media posted photos of the replicas and called it the most embarrassing scandal in the history of the country's police force.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's just a case of some criminals giving us the old bait and switch with our battle rifles, right?
As you do.
All right, so this was the one I'm super excited to get to. I always love it when this shit happens. So you can't really see it because I had to blur it, but on the right there, that is a blurred dangle.
Perfect.
So
dongle.
A doingle, dangle, dongle,
Dinkle.
dinkle, all of them. I've said many things.
All of the above.
It evolves. It transcends boundaries. So, pranksters have turned a giant bicycle created to celebrate the Tour of Britain into a giant dingle.
Damn, son.
8-month subscription, tier 2 passes to Venice. I mean, you very well could be a Venice. Thank you very much for that support.
Nice.
My brother. But locals in Ilcombre, Devon, got a rude awakening when they spotted the naughty artwork on the side of the Capstone Hill on Tuesday morning. The bike, made out of cardboard and reclaimed plastic, was recommissioned by a local environmental initiative. It appeared during the second stage of the cycling race, which ran from Cranbrook to Barnstaple, and the team behind the project managed to see the funny side. The project coordinator said, Ilcombre had a rude awakening this morning. Some people obviously thought it would be fun to rearrange the spokes and the wheels. It's created quite a bit of a buzz, and it showed a bit of more attention than what the bike was there for. So, more people are going to see the fact that this, this race is happening because of the dangler.
Giant hill penis.
Right, exactly. I mean, you said it, not me. But man, that sounds like the worst D&D monster to ever fight.
It's like a hill giant, but
but just a little bit worse.
So this installation was made of just a bunch of different pieces of this plastic cardboard stuff. Right. That anyone could just walk up and pick up and move.
Yep, seems like it.
Okay.
I mean, what were they expecting? This was gonna happen.
Right, in Britain is one thing. I guess, it's, obviously a rural area in England. And so it's okay, maybe it might not get messed with.
Right,
but,
exactly.
Imagine if someone in the U.S. did that. The first person that walked up and was like, guys, it's not bolted to the ground, it'd be gone. It would be just completely warped.
I mean, that's exactly what would happen.
I know if that happened here in Corvallis, fraternities all over Corvallis would suddenly have pieces of it in various parts of their house that they'd use as wall decorations. Be like, yeah, this is part of that thing that happened.
Right, and all of them would still be dingle shaped. Right, all right. So, this question sucks. We're gonna skip that one. So, a discount store has recalled thousands of prank knives after it emerged that they were all real razor-sharp blades.
No!
Right? So,
holy balls!
Yeah, this is bad news for this company. In case you guys were unaware of what these were, this is what you're supposed to do with them, right? They're supposed to have a finger hole that you put your finger in, so it looks like you put a razor blade through your finger. Right.
Gotcha.
This one does not have that hole. And neither do the thousands of other ones that they distributed.
Oh my god.
Angry Cicada says, no, leave them. Darwinism at its finest. Willis Wonder says, how do you accidentally make a fake knife real? Somebody.
Good question.
So Daiso, a large chain of bargain household shops, has had to recall the items to avoid the gruesome disfigurements that they could cause. The joke knives, called dokiri cutters, actually have dulled edges and semicircular indentations sized to make it look like you've accidentally sliced deep into your finger. But blundering Daiso packaged actual utility knives during its distribution process on one batch, and they've somehow managed to make their way to shops across Japan. Horrified customers have reportedly taken to the dokiri cutters back to the shops, noticing they didn't have the semicircular indentation, and instead of being blunt, the blades were actually razor sharp. One, people are buying these stupid prank knives. Two, they've got fucking real blades in them. Cyan News says, note, please try cutting off your finger. I don't know, for science. Chata says that the problem with Darwinism in this era is that modern medicine is letting these people survive. Right? Exactly.
Yeah. If it's not an insta kill, then it's only a partial.
Right. Well, then we would all know that the people who are missing the finger from like 2 stumps up, right, on the index finger or whatever, then we'll know, right? But the Dokiri cutter, which is apparently popular with children, is marketed as an absolute hit at parties, and it looks like a legitimate utility knife. But Daiso also sells regular utility knives in addition to everyday essentials and household
Are you for
products.
real?
Yeah, apparently.
Why would you sell both those products? That's just asking for it.
Right.
This reminds me of the Japanese and their pranks, man. This reminds me of the air compressor story from a couple months ago. That's what this makes me think of.
He literally blew that guy up from the butt. Like
it's Japanese people and their pranks. It's getting out of hand.
Ren, did you catch that one?
No, I'll go back and watch it, but it sounds amazing.
There was a guy, like a coworker, like 2 40-year-old men, like not kids. They were full-grown ass adults, and he thought he would do something really funny to one of his coworkers, and he goosed him in the anus with an air compressor and gave it a little squirt.
Industrial air compressor.
Right. And it blew the guy's like colon to pieces, and he died.
Oh no!
Because it's a common prank apparently in Japan to take your index fingers and shove them up people's butts.
Yep.
Right.
And so it's just like air compressor, same thing.
Squidpunk points out that there are also a bunch of contractors with fake knives who were just straight pissed. Right? But yeah, if you look at this one, this is one of the knives that has it's got the real blade. This is what was packaged in this package, and this is the fake knife, and it looks the same. Like it's got the yellow. Yeah, it's ridiculous. All right.
Oh god.
This next story involves nothing going badly with this dog, so don't immediately leave because of it. So
that's good.
A dog sitting gone. That happens. Like if I told a sad story about a dog once, I'm allowed to tell sad stories about birds. People stick around for that, but my metrics die if I tell a sad story about a dog. So I will never do that again. But a dog sitting gone wrong has one Colorado Springs homeowner warning other people about the popular app called Wag. You guys ever heard of Wag?
No.
Yeah, it's like Uber for your dog, right?
Kind of.
Like dog sitters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So Clayt Keller, a 2-time gold medal Olympic swimmer, said that after scheduling the dog sitting in his home on the west side, he came home early Monday morning around 1 a.m. to something which he only described as horrific. So he said the general smell in the house was disgusting. He had to have all of the windows and doors open to get it to clear out. Keller said that when he walked inside, he noticed 2 shirtless men sitting on his couch. When he asked them to leave, he noticed something even more strange. There was a bottle of personal lubricant and a camcorder on the end table. So it's pretty self-explanatory what was going on. The dog sitter said, he was hired to, or was nowhere to be seen. He later learned that she was in the bathroom showering.
Oh boy.
The news reached out to the dog sitter, who wanted to remain anonymous, but this is what she had to say about the incident. To be completely honest, I didn't have WD-40 and my keys were stuck in my car. So I ended up grabbing what I had in my car for things that, you know, I do on my personal time. I didn't think to put it back in my car. So she said that
the two shirtless men.
Right, exactly. According to Keller, those weren't the only odd things he spotted in his house too. He said, there is also what I can only assume bodily fluids on the couch. The dog sitter said that she didn't know anything about that. I wouldn't know anything about that because
shit.
I know that I took a shower at his house and I sat on the couch in a towel, and that was before my friends got there, she explained. Keller said his dog Jimbo was locked in his bedroom, sitting terrified. It was at just total mess, and I can only imagine what poor Jimbo saw in there, said Keller. According to WAG, the specific dog sitter had a rating of 4.96 out of 5.
What?
And had completed a combination of 305 walks and dog sittings. As far as their experience with Keller, though, the sitter had this to say. I'd like to apologize to him for making him feel like I violated his house because it wasn't my intention. I misinterpreted information that I had guests over when I shouldn't have, said the sitter.
You shouldn't do that anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly. Angry Cicada says lube and 2 dudes. That's the things that were in her car.
And the camera.
Exactly.
To record the process in case it happened again so she could do it herself.
Exactly.
Clearly how that went.
But anyway, apparently WAG does extensive background checks, and I guess they just missed this one.
I mean, to me, that seems like something you wouldn't put out publicly, so it's like, how would they have found it anyway?
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
Unless she's a repeat offender, which she probably isn't, because they hadn't found it, so...
This is the first time that she, you know, made a sex tape with 2 oily men in somebody's house while dog sitting their dog.
Well, maybe she does that normally and now has been caught doing it, you know.
Exactly.
Jeez Louise.
Angry Cicada says, oh, sorry, I didn't know I couldn't have a messy threesome in your house. My bad.
My B. That was my B. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
All right. So this is something I was expecting to be polarizing. So we'll figure out where it's at. Seth, what is Pluto?
Pluto is a planet.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay. Rin, what is Pluto?
Okay. Grew up knowing it's a planet, but I guess now it's subclassed as a minor moon or minor something. Either way, it's planet. Not. It's not really a planet like what we taught in.
Or planetoid.
Yeah.
Planetoid. The word I've heard. The lie I've heard, yeah.
So it sounds like you agree with North Carolina.
Oh, no.
Whereas, because North Carolina, last Tuesday, Governor Roy Cooper signed into law the hotly debated HB 17, nicknamed the Pluto Bill. This new law draws into question whether or not the idea of states' rights extend into outer space. So, it is now the right of every North Carolinian to refer to Pluto as a planet. And in fact, you can't call it a planetoid. I don't know if that's part of the law, but the new law goes into effect.
It didn't even make a full rotation until by the time it was announced a planet. So that's what kind of sucks too.
Right. The new law went into effect August 31st and states that Pluto is once again a planet. Pluto was originally classified as a planet until the International Astronomical Union, the IAU, redefined the definition of what a planet was. This definition led to Pluto becoming a celestial body or a dwarf planet since 2006. The decision has been widely respected by scientists up till now. Because I guarantee there's a guy who thinks he's a scientist in North Carolina.
To be fair, there was an issue in it was like one of the Carolinas or Tennessee. It was one of those three where there was a town that banned solar energy, that was like had a bill being worked on to ban solar energy, and at the hearing to like before the voting, so the reasoning for the bill was because it was soaking up the sun, it was taking away our sun. And there was a scientist there like, guys, no, stop, that's not how it works.
Right.
But it passed. So I imagine there might be a similarly frustrated scientist in this scenario.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
The co-author of the bill said on the matter, "We have punished Pluto long enough." Additionally, Lieutenant Governor Dan Forrest said on this bill that this is a historic moment for our state and our country, and most importantly, Pluto. And he even called on the federal government to follow in North Carolina's footsteps and recognize Pluto as a planet on the federal level.
Solid.
Exactly.
I dig it.
Cyan Me says hashtag leave Pluto alone. All right, who did I start with last time? Was it Rin?
Yes.
Okay, Seth, assuming that the tech just magically happened, which planet would you want to colonize?
Ooh, great question, Udo.
Like, assuming that the tech is just good to go. You don't even have to worry
Right.
about whether or not it could happen.
Right. So just thinking about planets in our solar system, I assume, because I don't know about any others. And
Right.
I would go with Saturn, because that would be super baller to have those rings just in your sky.
Right?
That would be pretty baller. And it's a lot more spacious, right? I assume. I don't really know.
Yeah, it's
what
way
kind of
bigger.
planet it
I
is.
mean,
Okay.
yeah.
I know it's
imagine-
bigger. I don't know if it's like mostly gas or what. I don't know.
It is. It's a gas
Jupiter's
giant.
the biggest though, but
Right. But Saturn's really, really big. All right, what do you think, Rin?
it's a hard one.
It's a what?
I wanna go. That's a hard one.
Mm.
'Cause everyone's first instinct is to go to Mars, but I feel like anything out further than Mars is just cold for
Right.
my liking.
Well,
So...
the tech's there. You're fine.
Oh,
You get to
okay,
live
the
in a
tech
bubble
is
city.
there.
Right, you get to live in a
Bubble
bubble
city,
city.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go live on Pluto because Pluto is a planet and should be colonized.
There you go. Boom. Nailed it.
I think that I want to go inwards and go Mercury.
Dude,
Because-
bold choice.
Yeah, like, one, the sun's going to be fuck huge. And that's going to be cool, right? Like,
It's gonna be bright as fuck the whole time.
right. But then, like, it's so hot over there. I bet that there's some really cool, like, geological formations and stuff that you could go see in your super magic I'm not on fire car, right? Like,
There you go. Yeah.
we write
Yeah.
Goat says Jupiter capitalized on the diamond market. Right? Yeah. Or maybe I mean, like, an honorable mention for me would be Titan, the moon.
There you go.
Go see if there's actually liquid water
Thanos.
underneath. Right.
Oh, what?
No, go see if there's actually liquid water underneath the ice layer on Titan, as theorized.
Same with Mars. Or is that
Right.
been confirmed?
Oh, it's confirmed that there is. It's not liquid water, but it's frozen water.
It's frozen.
Right. But all right, let's get into. We've only got
Yes.
23 minutes left, but we've got some pretty good some pretty good true crime, fake crime. I've gotten fake news on the brain, you know, because it's one of our things. But all right, so the first story here is strike the weak spot for massive damage. A 74-year-old woman rescued by Good Samaritans from a robbery and a beating in Midfield store parking lot said she thought her life was about to end. She said, "I just knew it was it for me," Brenda Stinson said. "I just thought I wasn't going to be here no more." But the feisty Birmingham woman said that she wasn't going to go without a fight. So, she said, "I grabbed him between the legs. I grabbed him good. Right between the legs. That's always been my plan because that's a man's weak spot. But I didn't know when it was going to come true. I know he's going to be sore." Can you imagine a 74-year-old woman talking about, like, "I grabbed him right in between the legs," right?
That's what I
happened.
do.
Right. The incident happened a few Wednesdays ago at the shopping center on Phillips Drive. Stinson said that she had bought her groceries at the Piggly Wiggly and then gone to the next door to buy her medicine at the pharmacy. When she got back to her SUV, the suspect seemingly came out of nowhere. I got ready to come home to my car and open up the door, and that's when he grabbed me. He grabbed me so quick, she said. We got to tussling. He was trying to get my money, but I was holding on to my pocket. And Stinson said that she never carries a purse and instead keeps her cash in a brown bag tucked in her pocket. She believes the suspect had followed her into the and watched her in the Piggly Wiggly because he knew exactly where to look for the money. We tussled for about 4 or 5 minutes before anybody saw us. He threw me to the ground, and I threw my money into the seat of the car. It was when she landed on the pavement that passerby saw what was happening. It just hurt my heart to see that, said the witness. That's when folks started running towards me. This man came and grabbed him, and then he took him and he threw him to the ground. The man who thwarted the crime was William Daniels. He said that he didn't have time to think or get mad about what he saw. Who would just sit back and watch a man beat a lady like that, Daniels said. Stinson said that her attacker kept yelling that he had AIDS. He was lying, she said. He thought that man wouldn't let him go if he said he thought that man would let him go if he said he had AIDS.
That is an amazing defense mechanism. Oh my God.
That is pretty criminal genius right there.
I have AIDS, don't beat me up.
Exactly. Daniels kept the suspect pinned down and on the ground, and detectives were working to obtain formal warrants against the suspect. He praised the Good Samaritan's actions. He was a godsend. We don't know what we would have done if they had not been there. We're thankful that he was there to stop it, and we need more community involvement like this. That sounds like a call for vigilantism. Kick-Ass shows us that that's not how it happens. Anyway, the 4 or 5 minutes of tussling was essentially her grabbing onto his badoingas and
that's hilarious.
Him going, "Ow! Oh God!"
Jesus.
Finally, he got her unhooked, and then he threw her to the ground, and that was his fatal mistake.
I still, I don't get it. Like, supposedly this, I'm assuming younger gentleman, would use the word gentleman lightly, but like,
right.
Why is it taking him that long to mug a 74-year-old woman? Like, he didn't
got his
deserve
gozers.
that.
Yeah.
So what? Like, I get that sucks, but like 5 minutes to defend yourself, to attack and then defend yourself because you're an idiot against a 74-year-old woman.
I mean, desperation does weird things to people.
Like, I'm sure, yeah, she was like adrenaline pumped and just had like a vice grip. Like, I'm sure she was working it.
Yeah. He was just sitting there panicking, like, oh shit, like
I made a terrible mistake. I have AIDS.
Exactly.
I regret everything.
She got my gozers. Exactly.
God.
All right. So I have the video for this one. A local business owner expressed surprise that a naked man broke into his liquor store and that he only helped himself to a soda and then left.
What?
Right. So here's the video. Once it loads, there we go. He just hammered his way through the door, right? He used apparently a hammer that he had with him. And here's the part they don't mention in the article very much. He literally like lays down on the ground. He just lays down for a little bit, flops around a little.
This guy must have been like blackout wasted.
Exactly. Also, he's apparently still wearing shoes too.
Right.
But apparently there was the medication that was an issue, right? But he was also drunk on medication. Then he took a soda and then just left. He's got a can of soda in his hand. When he figured out that he wasn't there to rob it, the guy was not so mad about it. But
right.
I mean,
no,
at that
like
point,
I absolutely would not have, like, even if there wasn't a medication issue, I don't think I could have pressed charges for that. Just like the dude walked in naked because he was wasted and took a can of soda. Like, I'll tell the police, but I won't press charges. Like give him a slap on the wrist or something, you know. But
right, as long as he gives me the money for the window, right?
Oh yeah, there is the part where he destroyed a window.
Exactly. We're gonna skip this question for time because I want to get to Seth's favorite part.
Hear me answer that anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to Florida Man. Is what we're
Yeah.
gonna do. So, for those of you who've never been here for a Florida Man, there is your link to your Florida Man bingo card.
Yes.
Feel free to play the game. If you get a bingo, take a screenshot of it, send it to me on Twitter at skeptalk_live with the hashtag Florida Man, and I will give you extra Illumies. Illumies are the stream currency that you can play with the stream right now. If you click the little eyeball in the lower right-hand corner of the screen, it will allow you to redeem Illumies, and you can do things like play and applause. You can interact with the show with your Illumies. So I'm going to start adding more stuff. Oh, we got an applause there. Okay. Thank you very much for that applause. All right.
Do we get to use the headline that didn't make the news at the beginning for this?
No. Yeah. But we got some pretty good ones here. So, a Florida man is accused of dumping a bucket containing human feces and urine inside of a St. Petersburg 7-Eleven. So,
perfect. Yes.
Right. Damian A. Sims' alleged act of criminal caca happened early Wednesday, according to the Smoking Gun. He apparently obtained the waste from the portable toilet on the site. He splattered the gloop and got a straw hat and a do-rag worth a total of $28. So he stole a straw hat and a do-rag after throwing like, what is it, portable toilet residue everywhere.
Yeah.
Damn. 41-year-old Sims was ID'd by the store manager and recorded on surveillance video, according to the police report. It's possible that the alleged bowel movement bucket dump was an act of revenge, but the police report notes that the Sims was banned from the store in May. He was charged with trespass, criminal mischief, and they are both misdemeanors, and he only has a $300 bond.
Jesus.
Right. He has also been ordered to stay away from the 7-Eleven and its manager.
You don't say.
So, if any of those apply to any of the blanks on your Florida Man card, feel free to fill those in.
I personally got poop, unusual loot, and 7-Eleven/gas station.
Nice. All right. Vero Beach, Florida. An intoxicated woman who set out to buy alcohol at the Vero Beach Walmart was arrested for DUI. A witness said that Gail Melton Levine entered the parking lot and struck a concrete base to a light pole. The witnesses then called the police, and after realizing that she was intoxicated, Levine stumbled into Walmart and purchased alcohol before returning to her vehicle, according to the report. So she was drunk enough to hit a light post, right? Then goes into Walmart, manages to purchase more alcohol, and gets to come
Florida,
out to the police.
Not a high standard.
Right.
They're probably like, whatever, I don't care.
She didn't have a valid driver's license to show the officers when she got back, right?
How did she get the alcohol? Oh my God, wait.
Because she's old enough to look over 21, and then
that's fair. They probably didn't card her. All right.
Exactly.
All right.
And she then told the officers that she had driven to Walnut.
Just drove to the Walnut to get some liquor.
Walmart provided a copy of the video surveillance at the parking lot that showed the accident and Levine stumbling to and from the store, according to the affidavit. So they literally showed or gave over images of them allowing a very intoxicated person to buy booze. After completing field sobriety tasks, police determined that she was too impaired to drive, and she was arrested and transported to Indian River County Jail. A man in St. Lucie County, Florida, was arrested after allegedly giving his girlfriend a wet willy while he was belligerent.
Interesting.
Right. The local sheriff's deputy was called to the home of 47-year-old Joseph Cerecci in mid-August. The man's girlfriend claimed that she found Cerecci drunk on the living room floor after she returned home from work. According to the affidavit, the Cerecci went with his girlfriend, who had not been identified, and her daughter to a different person's home. There, he continued to be drunk and continued to drink and be belligerent, according to the affidavit. Then, on the way home, Cerecci allegedly grabbed his girlfriend's hand, pulled her arm, and continued by giving her a wet willy, sticking his finger in her ear. The daughter, whose identity is also held, confirmed her mother's account. According to the inmate records, Cerecci was arrested on a battery charge.
Huh.
He declined to give a written statement, but said he wasn't drunk. Sure, buddy.
Oh.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm not sure.
I'm not white. I don't know how to counter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a Palm Bay area man flung his cut-up hand at Hernando County deputies while being arrested on Wednesday.
With this
No.
body
Right.
horror?
Yeah. Telling the officers to get some of this holy blood.
Oh my god.
It was an act, an agency report noted, unwanted by the deputy. Later, the man slapped the same deputy's hand after he was told he needed to stay in the emergency room for treatment, according to the report. All right, here we go. Deputies gave an account of the incident. At 2 a.m. on Wednesday, a woman saw Edwards standing in front of a broken window and called 911. When deputies arrived, they found him with a deeply cut hand. He was agitated, screaming things that could not be understood, and throwing his hands up in the air. He wouldn't identify himself, deputies said, instead telling him his name was "Fuck you." Then, deputies said, came the blood baptism. According to the sheriff's office, Edward had broken a series of windows on a building. He was taken to Hernando County Jail, where he's being held on a $12,000 bond. Chatta TV says this guy's photo, right?
Right.
Drinking the Kool-Aid.
Damn.
Exactly. All right. A Florida family has been terrified of a huge monitor lizard that has apparently taken up residence in their backyard. The lizard is about 7 feet long, weighs 150 pounds, and homeowner Zachary Lieberman tells the Sun Sentinel that the lizard was at his back door patio scratching to get inside the house. The family enlisted the help of trappers, dogs, Florida Fish and Wildlife officers, and to try and help catch the lizard. They've used dead rodents and chicken thighs to try to lure the reptile into traps, but it has so far eluded capture. Wildlife officers used video camera scopes to check inside, or are planning, or they did use video camera scopes to check inside the burrow of the beast on Wednesday. Lieberman says it's scary. He's not comforted by the fact that the monitor lizards aren't known to attack people. Apparently, this is not an isolated incident, and reports of Nile monitor lizards are being reported all over Florida, and they are eating house cats.
Oh god.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like this is like a D&D campaign, like the monsters are attacking, but there's like something else worse pushing them out of their habitat. Like a D&D like plot hook right there.
Right, exactly.
I feel like it's going down right now.
This is for sure a level 1 adventure. And these guys are just the townsfolk who get killed by house cats. So like all right. And our final Florida man story for today is the Miami Herald newspaper endorsed a Republican House candidate for her working class agenda, but who also believes that she was abducted by aliens.
Beautiful.
Right? She's perfect for the current, administration.
Yeah.
Exactly. The Herald's editorial board was the most impressed by former Doral Councilwoman Bettina Rodriguez Aguilera in her Congressional District 27 race to take the seat of the longtime incumbent GOP member Liliana I'm gonna fuck this one up too. Letihinden, who was not seeking re-election this year, while the newspaper acknowledged that she had was an unusual candidate for endorsement. Both she and the editors agreed that her abduction is a non-issue in the upcoming election.
Oh, okay, cool.
But like, she's not like hiding it. She's straight up like, "Oh, the fact that I was abducted by aliens is no big deal."
Everyone, right?
What the?
Like, it's not. It's nothing, right? It's. She looks like somebody that would believe that she was abducted by aliens.
She almost looks like Dana Scully.
Right. Chatted TV says this is how they stack the deck for Democrats, endorse the Looney Tune. Right. I mean, that makes complete sense.
That's actually a really good point, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
That
It
damn
worked so
liberal
well in
media.
Trump's favor.
Oh my god.
All right, and we're going to wrap up today with some change.org petitions.
Yes. God, yes.
Ren, have you ever been here for one of the change.org petitions sections?
Yeah.
Excellent. I don't remember when it was that I changed it or whether or not you were here at that point. So, for those of you who have never seen this before, this is some petitions that I found that are trying to make a real difference in the world through change.org. The first one is whether or not we can actually get a petition to 100, because most of the other petitions that we've ever shown on this show have like 7 signatures, and then when we're done, they have like 8 signatures. But so far, it looks like we were at 50 at one point. I don't know where we're at. 52. How far are we?
37 is what it says for me.
This is 46.
Yep, I'm seeing 52 on my thing right now, so I think it moves up.
Yeah, mine's still going up, I guess.
Gotcha. So, if you're interested in helping us get to 100, to find out what the hell it does, we'll show it on the show once it gets done. I mean, I just don't know if it'll ever happen. So, our first one that we found is starting World War R for robots.
Awesome.
Because the robots are taking over, and we must stop it. If you've watched much of this show, you know that sex robots are becoming increasingly more powerful, and soon they will be, in fact, able to take over the world. So if you want to preemptively stop, we should. This is declaring war on the robots before they get to declare war on us.
I'm down.
Make sure to comment something amazing on it so that, you know, it gets spread around a little bit more. All right. The next one that I found here, Chatted TV says the sex robots will win the war with sex drugs. It's, you know, that's a powerful weapon that they've got there. The next one is a kid named Vincent Clotaire sending this petition to everyone to change the name of his school to Sponge Knob Square Nuts.
Good luck with that.
Of the name. I want to solve the problem of the name of my boring and trash high school.
Oh, right, exactly. And I think SpongeBob Square Nuts would definitely spice it up, right?
SpongeBob Square.
Yeah.
That sounds like a porn parody. Oh, is that what that picture's from?
It looks like it, yes.
It's gotta be like a porn parody, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it.
SpongeBob. Oh my god.
All right. Our next petition is that once you turn 9, you should be forced to subscribe to PewDiePie. There are too many 9-year-olds that still aren't subscribed to PewDiePie, and this needs to change. The person starting this was named A Person, and it's a petition to Donald Trump. So, the reason that I am displaying this now is that in the wild hopes that because we just start talking about it and we're fucking around with it, it goes crazy viral, and someone gets this in front of Donald Trump. and then he'll tweet about it, and then shit will go amazingly well for us. So.
I feel like that is actually a really legitimate chain of action that could happen.
Right, yeah. Exactly. I really haven't said anything out of line.
And you could put that under your belt of like political activism as you run for president.
Correct. I made it so that 9-year-olds have to.
You've made real change in this country.
Exactly.
Just trying to make America great again.
And the final one I found was a petition to shutdownchange.org. Do change.org petitions really change anything? And the picture here is phenomenal. It's it's somebody shooting a squirt gun at the sun, right?
Oh my god. Good luck with that.
Right?
Oh my god. This is so fucking good.
It reminds me of when we covered chemtrails, and we showed videos of people spraying bottles full of vinegar into the sky to try and disperse the chemtrails.
Oh no.
The chemtrail came through here a little while ago, and then I sprayed the vinegar into the air, and now if you look, it's dispersing. It's been 3 hours. It's because the fucking contrail from the plane is dispersing naturally, you nitwit. No, it was my vinegar.
Can we have the apocalypse soon? I just want to be done with
it. Let's just make sure that the smart ones survive.
Right?
Stop, hit the reset button.
Exactly. All right, well, that's all we've got for today. Jesus. It is exactly 9 o'clock. We did really good by skipping a bunch of stories. But yeah, we did it. We made it all the way through without everything dying.
Woo!
All
We're
right.
the best.
So Seth, how was your first time?
It's fantastic.
Was it as good for you as it was for me?
I hope so, sir. I hope so. I've not laughed so much in quite some time.
Right. Well, anytime you feel like you want to do it, I'll if you want to be on the list of people that I bother, I'll put you on the list.
Dude, do that. I'm happy to be here through the rest of September. Once October hits, I'm gone with the wind.
That's right. That's correct. You must dance.
Get me while you can.
Exactly. And Rin, how was it to be back?
It was good. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, of course.
What was your favorite story from tonight, Rin?
Oh, favorite. Oh no.
What was your least favorite story, Rin?
Spider tacos.
Spider tacos, right?
Never.
Yeah.
I know they say that bugs are the future of food, but I can't bring myself to do it. I can't.
I feel like that was easier to listen to though than the Asian couple with the fertility issues.
Okay, no, that one is really fucking good.
That was hard to bear.
It was both very funny and very cringy, right?
Yes.
Like,
yes. Yeah. Like a Will Ferrell movie.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's all right. Well, Rin, I would love to have you back on in the future, so we should definitely talk what your schedules are like. So we'll work on that off stream. But
won't
everybody
be available next weekend.
That's exactly. Nobody will. Yeah, that's something I should let everybody know. We will be back tomorrow for a normal episode. We will be back Tuesday for an episode where I'm bringing someone on who's brought me on their podcast a few times. I will have Pimp Monk on the show on Tuesday. He has brought me onto the Morning Wood a few times. He's a very awesome YouTuber. I mean, I think his stats are something like 30,000 subscribers, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty up there. He has really fun shows. And he's a really clever guy. I just got to make sure that I touch base with him about Twitch's TOS because he's used to the YouTube TOS. So I think it's going to be great. I can't wait to have him on. Chat TV says, "Are you doing this on Wednesday now? I was surprised to see you considering push notifications are broken on my phone." No, the show like literally broke yesterday, and my computer overheated and like catastrophically failed. I fixed it this morning, and we're doing yesterday's episode today. So,
Boom.
Yep. But with that said, I will be back Tuesday, and then won't have an episode next Thursday because I will be in the woods. So.
Getting a high on plot.
Exactly. Smoking all that good plot.
Third degrees.
Exactly. All right, everybody. Well, we'll see you later.